From the 1st of October 1961, Cameroon was being ruled with the slogan, Green Revolution. That was a policy instituted by the president of Cameroon, the first president of the Federal Republic of Cameroon, President Amadou Ahidjo. The policy of Green Revolution was centered on increasing food productivity and ensuring that all the different institutions have education of self-resilient or self-reliance. The education that the students, the pupils, all those being taught within institutions can be able to produce, and that agriculture was at its center. And that is why President Amadou Ahidjo invested heavily on road infrastructures and also institutions. He toured the nation back to back to ensure that his policies were being instituted. He constantly visited divisions, regions of Cameroon within his time as the president of Cameroon. And he pushed so hard for his vision of Green Revolution by sponsoring or ensuring that the state gives scholarship to goodwill Cameroonians or Cameroonians of goodwill, so that they can go out there and be able to have the knowledge. And that is why within the period when President Amadou Ahidjo was still in charge of this beloved nation, Cameroon was proud to export products to other nations. Cameroon was proud to give loans and to give agricultural aid to Malaysia, to China, and to different nations. In fact, we were the bread breeding basket. Many nations, including Lebanon, Singapore, heavily relied on Cameroon benevolence at the time of President Amadou Ahidjo because of his policy. Youth to become productive, to ensure that they don't indulge in deviant activities, such that the nation can focus on building itself to continue with that which many nations were relying upon. However, 42 years down the lane, how good or how best has that vision been to Cameroonian? We've moved from rigor and moralization to great opportunity, great ambition, great realization, and you can name the rest. And the policy came in with a policy of Vision 2035, that vision that Cameroon will emerge by 2035. We are few years to 2035. How best have we been able to ensure that we implement that vision to be emerged in 2035? The road networks from the 10 regions of Cameroon is something that many Cameroonians see it as being deplorable. No doubt that the Director General of National Security, on his way from Yaoundé to Biya, lamented on the tremendous and the difficultness in accessing the road. Not to talk of electricity. The electricity supply in our nation is limping and crawling. Despite the increased rate of the tariff, some Cameroonians in some villages still see it as they have to pray and pray and pray to God for God to answer their prayer before electricity is instituted in their village, which they will still have to pay for. Supply of water is a different ball game. Many villages, many towns are in dire need of potable drinking water. They are not asking water to do unorthodox things, water just to drink. If you move around our villages, you will have to pray and offer the angelus for the types of water that our beloved citizens are are actually drinking. However, if you move to the aspect of insecurity or security, the issue about torture is now resurging as that of Longa Longa. And a recent video of police officers torturing a Cameroonian who was actually on the course of being arrested. He was actually beaten and tortured. The video is currently circulating on social media. When we look at the aspect of the economy, the common man cannot actually put food on his or her table. In fact, the take-home package of many Cameroonians cannot barely take them home. Some of them will have to trek before they reach their home. Looking at the rate of tariff, with all of this plethora of issues, we are 42 years counting. On the 6th of November, in just 3 days, President Biya will be celebrating his 42th anniversary as the president of our nation, commander-in-chief, number one sportman, number one guarantor and national uniter, as he will be celebrating how best have Cameroonians been led by President Paul Biya. How best are we living the reality of this vision of rigor and moralization? How much morality do we have with tribalism on the rise, corruption on the rise? This is House of Commons with me, Tah Mai Jarvis. It is a very, very nice Sunday. Happy Sunday to all those of you watching us from different parts of the world. We want to acknowledge you. We want to also acknowledge the fervent viewers of My Media Prime Television. Our new YouTube channel is My Media Prime TV. You can still follow us on BT Media Group, but you can now have all of our up-to-date programs on My Media Prime TV YouTube channel. We are looking at 42 years of President Paul Biya, the State of Road Leave Director General of National Security Concern. And he just went from Yaoundé to Boya. He did not go from Douala to Bafoussam. He did not go from Boya to Kumba. He did not go. I don't want to continue. In the studio, we are joined by our panelists who are going to do justice to the topic. We want to acknowledge the presence of Professor Innocent, who is someone that has actually trained and actually mentored and supervised several PhD students in our state universities. He is here with us, and he's someone well-grounded as far as economic issue is concerned. Professor Innocent, happy Sunday and thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jarvis. Thank you so much for inviting me to this program today. Thank you.
Also, we are joined by a very, very young and vibrant Cameroonian who was here last time, and he's here for his second time. He is a genuine member of Parliament, and also he's here with us to talk about the issues that we shall be discussing. We are talking about Yai. Because I always, the name pronunciation is kind of difficult. Lyai. Welcome and thanks for joining us, Mr. Emmanuel.
Thank you, Mr. Jarvis, and I'm happy to be among you today, and I'm happy to meet Prof for my first encounter.
You are a youth from Noni. How is Noni doing?
Noni is good.
Okay, also in the studio, we are joined by Nick Anu, who is also going to give us his view. Nick, happy Sunday and thanks for joining us.
Happy Sunday to you, Tah Mai Jarvis. Happy Sunday to fellow followers of My Media Prime House of Commons. We're here also, as usual, to give our opinion to national issues that affect us on a daily basis, especially the issue of bad roads in our country. Thank you.
We are with the arrival of Fai Elvis Tayong, the kangaroo man, who is on his way. He just messaged me that he's around the studio due to the road network. According to his words, he is unable to reach on time, but that he will be here on time across Douala. Douala itself is not left out in the whole show. It's also an issue of cacophony. I'll begin with you, Prof. Many are now taking aim at the Director General of National Security. That why is he more concerned with the roads? And that identity card issue has not been resolved. That why is he putting his nose in the mouth of road, whereas his own issue about national identification card is still to be resolved?
thank you very much once
We'll be
more.
comparing those two things.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Jarvis. I think our focus today is on the road network. Let's actually keep that aspect of the national ID card. That I think that is going to be a different topic of our discussion, maybe in the next session. I think we should be looking at Cameroon since 1982. And today we are just about barely 6 years to 2030, 11 years to 2035. And the nature of social infrastructure in the country, if you look at it carefully, it's about 40 years away from the starting point of 1982 when this government actually started. So our question now is, what is wrong with the key actors that were actually supposed to put in place this social infrastructure so that Cameroon can actually emerge or be able to attain some of the sustainable development goals? So today we shall be looking at this, and we shall be offering our opinion on what we are observing, and then trying to give some suggestion to the key actors to see what they can do in order to improve on the situation. I'll be right back.
Thank you very much. And also in the studio, we are going to be joined by Phi Elvis Tayong, who has just made his arrival into the studio. He is the Under Secretary of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, which is known as the CRM Party of Professor Maurice Kamto. Phi Elvis is otherwise known as the Kangaroo Man, as many always call him the Kangaroo Man. He earlier messaged me that he will come a bit late due to the road network of our nation, and which we are talking about. And Phi Elvis, and happy Sunday. Thanks for joining us, the Kangaroo Man.
Well, we thank all of you who are present here today. It's my pleasure meeting bona fide panelists who are here present, and greetings to the people of Gunoko village, as usual. You know, we can't leave the area where we're coming from. And the phone is doing very well. His Royal Majesty Dr. Fomiki Waters, of course, on behalf of himself as a spokesman of the village, known as Ngamfon. I think we send special greetings to all of them because, today, most of the village development associations, they have their meetings on Sundays. Gunoko, they have theirs today at Bonaberi, where we shall be doing fundraising to host Mekuda, that's Meta Cultural Development Association, because they will all be coming to Gunoko. All the over 30 villages will be converging at this time in Gunoko for the Meta Cultural Development Association. So we have a lot of work, I will tell you, it's cultural, and we're making sure that the roads are in order. Everything is okay. And all the panelists here too, because not only for Meta people, they'll have to come and see how we showcase culture at the Gunoko Funds Palace. So it's interesting. And finally, special greetings to all the Golden Award laureates, given that it's already around the corner. 2 weeks from now, the Golden Award 5th edition will kick off around the 5 different regions of the country. So this year we take it towards the people, and not only in Biya, it has been for the past years. That's the innovation we have. So it's my pleasure being here. The Kangaroo Road Network is what characterized my coming down. And I think that Ipa Mbarga could feel it in his car until his waist almost cut into two. And he had to voice out his anger. Then you could imagine what us, normal Cameroonians who ply this road every day on local cars, not compressor or big jeeps, but I mean local cars. You can imagine what we ourselves go through. So Yaoundé has expired. They are getting ready to pack their bags 2025, 2026 and go home and go forever. Thank you.
Nick Anu, let us look at the 42 years of Biya's reign in power. The road network leaves the Director General of National Security concerned. Were you surprised by his outing?
I wasn't too surprised by his outing. And I was also only surprised because he moved in one of the best road networks that Cameroon has. From Yaoundé to Motengene, he's one of the best. He could have moved from maybe Yaoundé to Bafoussam, then Bafoussam to Douala, and then other roads in the country.
Or from Bamenda to Bengui.
Yes.
So we are passing through the forest because I must block up on the road. We are passing through Bali.
Because
you understand.
Those are the best roads you can move on to give your opinion or to voice your opinion about the road network in Cameroon. And I think that is a kind of a situation where most of our public leaders are into. If they had been moving and feeling the pinch that the common Cameroonians feel on a daily basis, maybe things would have been a bit better as of now. The greatest thing that the regime, this 42 years regime has, if we say the greatest thing that failed is in terms of road network in this country. If we say they have done good in maybe in other social amenities. But when it comes to road networks or road construction in Cameroon, it is one of the most catastrophic things they are facing. Being the fact that construction of road is not rocket science. It is something that every nation does, and there are modalities in which you can construct roads in your country. But in Cameroon, we have just one modality, or one or two, using state budget to construct roads, which is not the best. I think most of those who are involved emphasizing the use of state budget to construct road is because of interest, because they know that when these budgets, within this budget, they'll be able to have their own percentages inside, rather than using a system of BOT system,
operate and
transfer system, because they know that with this, they will not be able to lay their hands on funds and so on and so forth. And you will see that even most of those BOT systems that the government has brought in, most of these public leaders are frustrated it. I take, for example, the recent issue of toll gates. I did an investigation and I found out that this, if you notice, they are not functional, because somebody somewhere who was in charge of all of this had to frustrate the process, because they could not have their own percentages in all of these things. So they had to frustrate the process until right now, even though we knew that this issue of automatic toll gate will not really function in Cameroon, because in Cameroon, our leaders don't like things that are automatic. They like things that will go through one process to another, so that in this process, they will be able to have their own percentages within. So this is a kind of nightmare we have been going through for the past 42 years. We are today focusing on roads. We don't want to even talk about other issues. It's not like it's only the roads issue that in Cameroon that is bad. The whole system is problematic, and it is time for a total overhaul of the system. It is time to have a rethink of the kind of nation we are functioning in. And it is time for every Cameroonian to be conscious and speak out. Because one of the key issues we facing in Cameroon is because most of us Cameroonians are too complacent with what is going on. We don't speak out. We just clap hands and then follow the train. Whether they are hitting our head, whether they're spitting on our faces, we just clap hands and keep going. And it is the few people who dare to speak out against the evil are looked upon as the enemies of the regime, or the enemies of the state.
Les ennemis des États.
Yeah, there's a German writer who is Martin, somebody who during the time of Hitler, who said, yes, he said they came for the Jews and I was silent. They came for the Christians and I was silent. They came for this and I was silent. And they came for me and there was nobody to speak for me. So I think Cameroonians have to wisen up and know that the issue of bad governance affects us on a daily basis. The issue of governance affects what you eat in your house. The issue of governance affects the kind of school you send your children to. It affects it affects your health. It affects our daily life on a daily basis. So if we don't speak out to the public authorities that are in charge, of course, they are supposed to be our employee. We employ them and put them in that place to render services to us. And the English word for a public servant is the one that is most appropriate. But when you go to the French way of calling a public servant, they call them fonctionnaire. Fonctionnaire to them is look like somebody who's high up there, who is not supposed to be a servant to the people. These people are civil servants. They're supposed to serve us, but they have gradually turned themselves into demi and semi-gods that we have to worship them daily for using our money and to do the job we employ them to do.
Okay.
And I think we have to keep on the advocacy. 2025 is coming up. We have to keep on the advocacy to show that, to make sure that Cameroonians become conscious of the kind of system they're living in.
Mr. Emmanuel, when we look at 42 years after counting, since President Biya came up came to power, how much will you appreciate the road network? I'm sure you have traveled across some parts of Cameroon, and also you have had experience with seeing how other nations are doing their own road network. Are you very, very okay with the system of road network, or you align yourself with the Director General of National Security?
Thank you, Mr. Jarvis, and I want to welcome the Cameroon man again. The issue about road is seemingly becoming so popular because it's coming from one person, from somebody we all know, the Director General of National Security.
Le père de la police.
Yes, he's the one. But and people are looking at it to be something new. To me, what he said was just something out of circumstance that he could not. I judge it that he has tried to say it somewhere and it didn't go. First of all, look at the road network. There are accidents every day in Cameroon. And with the research part of, there's a branch in the police that is in charge of research. What do? When an accident happens, what is the cause? What was the cause of the accident? It is obviously, part of the report says that it's due to the bad network, except they have not been doing their job. So to me, he knows the problem. What came out from him the other day is just, let me say, a circumstance of something that he had in mind, or he had not been able to say it in their inner circles. We know that Cameroon has been suffering from, all of us who have been talking about it, because it is not the media, he's not the one to come and tell Cameroon that we are suffering from the road network. It is something we live on daily basis. Prof earlier mentioned, he cannot walk with his car because of the bad nature of the road.
Let me just support what you're talking about. Just a year and a half ago, we carried research with two of my doctorate degree students. The road network from Douala to Chang, and from Chang, or maybe Douala to Bafoussam, Bafoussam to Yaoundé, and then back to Douala. And then we discovered that the major cause of accident on those road network was bad roads. So the minister has a good knowledge about that.
Thank you, Prof. As I was saying, you discover that the problem is with us. We have the problem, and then the issue at hand is we do not speak out. And if you dare try to speak, they say that you are an enemy of the state. And people have taken things to what has scared Cameroonians from talking, because if you say the road are bad, that they are not. For example, if the route leading to Noni are bad, it is, they will interpret it as I am against a particular system, which is not so. Road network, good road network, is part of the basic needs of a citizen to enjoy them. But we have turned, and what we have seen so far is that for a community to have good roads, it looks like you need to belong to a political party, this and that. I don't know, maybe in the days ahead, they will tell us that for you to be born, you need to be born in a political party. Because the basic necessities of Cameroonians are being politicized, and that is why we find ourselves there is nowhere in Cameroon where you would think that they have good network of transportation.
The deputy, the justice, the Jean Momo de Dieu, who happens to be the
minister
delegate in charge of justice, said there is no problem with roads network in Yaoundé.
That is what? Yes, he said it. The videos are there. And when I looked at it,
it's not the Yaoundé that you're talking about.
Does he even know anything about Yaoundé?
Exactly. He said he.
But he knows just his office. And one thing, let me just cut you short, please. I'm sorry. I think the problem here is that government has appointed people to live in beautiful offices. He has not appointed actors that can implement the key developmental projects that it has for the Cameroonian people.
Well, let him just land. I'll come to you before coming by.
What I saw when I saw
the video,
I even have it. When I watched the video, he said he grew up in Yaoundé. He moves around. He doesn't know that he has not seen all the potholes around. I looked at myself and said, man, are we actually living in a republic?
Was castigating the government.
I asked him, the city mayor of Yaoundé will go down and complain about the road. People who knows the Mombo Deziem, Karifu Obili, even the roads are entering Yaoundé. Everything, we don't have roads in Cameroon. I remember please an episode that happened during the AFCON in Cameroon when South Africans came. They said the only good route you could remark in Cameroon was from the Simalen to Hilton. That's all. I was ashamed that they are talking that the only good route they could remark from there to this place.
Okay.
And following from what they have told, in fact, it's a big problem. And thank God we are talking about it. Somebody has stimulated us to open the eyes of those have been appointed to serve us. And it's still a problem. those who have been appointed, they are there to serve people, the person who appointed them.
Okay.
If not, we shouldn't have been having this. If we had elected persons in charge of this road who will render an account to the people who elected you, we should have been where we are today. Thank you.
Prof. Innocent, the Minister Delegate of Justice, Jan Momodeji, in a viral video, said when he was asked on the issue of road network in Yaoundé, he said there's no problem with road network in Yaoundé. That is the and asked the question, is it the same Yaoundé that is in that when drives around, he doesn't see any problem with road network? That was before the Delegate General of National Security went to Mutengene.
Yes.
Now the delegate, when that video came out, I'm sure the Delegate General of National Security was aware that there's no problem with road network. He went to Mutengene and he came back and he said in his words, there are people who are not respecting what the head of state has asked them to do. In part of that video where he castigated the road network in Cameroon. Are you shocked that it is coming from a minister in this country? Or are you sure that he is preparing himself? Because there are people who have said that he could be preparing himself for a possible transition to win the face of Cameroonians. Or is he facing the reality?
Well, thank you very much for that question. You know, Cameroon is a delicate land, and people who speak the truth, they're actually condemned. We saw the case of Longa, where we saw people under torture. There are other areas too that people may not even know, such as the airport in Mankon, Bamenda, and several cases too as well. So some people do not actually want to speak the truth, because they may be thinking that speaking the truth will cause them to lose one thing or the other. And so they want to always keep themselves, keep in line with the lies telling, so that they may have their jobs maintained. But then, please, let me just like to say something which is very important here. Cameroon has a very big problem. The government system of Cameroon has a very big problem. There's no control. There is lack of control. There is lack of evaluation. There is total lack of monitoring of all the projects I have in this country here. A minister is appointed. He's in office for more than 15, 20 years. You do not know exactly what this minister has achieved over that period of time, but they are maintained. So the key question now is, what have they achieved over this period? If you might take the case of the Minister of Public Works, for example, I think that's is it Dr. Jumesi or who is that like that? Yeah. Well, people may want to condemn in a way, but if you go to the Western region, for example, you'll be happy. If you take the road network, maybe in the Western region, you'll be happy for that, within a short period that he had been in power. But our major problem is that the other parts of the country are really terrible. I moved from here to Marwa. You will weep. It is not only the poor nature of water supply that you have in those parts of the country, but the road network is terrible. I moved from here to Nkongsamba to Bafusam to Bamenda. The road to Garwa is just horrible.
It
is just horrible. It is an abandoned part of this nation. We complain about yes. In fact, it is just horrible. At one time, we were asking ourselves, are they government officials from this part of the country? What are they doing? Who are they representing?
What of the one in Bamenda?
Bamenda is just horrible. I just returned from Bamenda. That was on Friday. Bamenda town is a forgotten area. It is not just like part of this country again. If you see Bamenda, the roads in Bamenda town, you compare them with the road network that you will have in the town of Marwa. The two are just the same. But then there are some other areas where you have elected personnel who think about the people, and then they want to make sure that they people live well. Like I'm talking about the case of Bafusam. But then again, I was also looking at it in a different way. Could it be also a function of where the governor of that particular region comes from? Because when you look at the western region of Cameroon, for example, you see a governor who comes from the northwest region of Cameroon.
Yes.
He is doing everything to ensure that there is sustainable development. He is thinking about what they call the NDS 2035. He's thinking about what they call the SDGs, that is the 2030 development goals. But then when you go to the other regions of Cameroon, nothing is taking place. What are we even talking about? Just take a look at this road here, from Peka 14 to maybe Bonalea, for example. That is a road which is used by university students, thousands of them.
From Peka 14 right up to Peka 21.
Exactly.
Yes.
I've been to that road. It's terrible.
This is a road that was supposed to be. I saw caterpillars that were there.
It leads to Yabasi.
Exactly.
We saw trucks transporting students.
Nothing has been done on the road. They dug the road some few months ago and they abandoned the whole thing. There are potholes on the road network now. The key question is, what happens if our students have accidents and they lose their lives? Those are the future generations of this country.
That are being jeopardized.
What is the government doing about that? When they look at this poor developmental implementation, the poor implementation of these projects, for example, what is the head of state saying about this? What is the prime minister, for example, who is supposed to actually work in close collaboration, who's a younger person, for example, doing about these things here? Because he's supposed to monitor all the ministers, their projects. How far have you gone with this project? And then see exactly what this minister is supposed to be maintained or not. Has he been doing his job over the years? Okay. Thank you very much.
Fire Vistayon. Are you surprised that the issue of route is coming from the mouth of a minister delegate of national director general of national security at that level? Now, there have also been many who have actually, some within the party, who have actually take aim at the delegate general of national security, stating that he's asking the issue of road network, has he produced the ID card of Cameroonians? So how do we reconcile this? Shouldn't we talk about the roads? And his supporters have also come to his aid and noting that they could deliver ID card, but there are no roads to come and deliver the ID card.
Well,
how did we find ourselves in this quagmire, which is get many just to laugh about it, but fail to look at the realities?
Well, I think that we have a free society. People have the right to think the way they think and voice out themselves the way they think, even if after voicing out, you are not totally free, because you can voice out on another direction and you pay the price, as some of us have been paying. But we'll continue paying the price. We have enough energy for that. As I was saying, the main issue here is that for those who are castigating Pambar Ngangele, I just think it's unfair. Because to be in a system and to start denouncing, it's just like in the issue of Professor Maurice Kamto. Many said as he had been minister delegate at the level of Minister of Justice, he partook in drawing the constitution and that. You can be in something. It is just like Dr. Damina Abel. He was in that system of tithes. Prosperity gospel. Now that he has realized himself and come out and kicking against, you cannot crucify him that no, he was first of all there. So there is room for repentance. And each time a human being brings out a point that works for the interest of the people, we should appreciate that. So all those who are kicking against Pam Barangangele, I am for him. In fact, if I meet him in Yaoundé, I'm just coming from there, he was a little bit busy, I will give him a bottle of champagne. Because while I'm coming now, work is going on at Carrefour Music now, as I'm talking. And I will bet you that our work is accelerated because what Barangangele said. That Carrefour Music has been the bone of contention, causing traffic congestion around Dobo, there in Bonaberi, right up to Nestle neighborhood. So I was surprised when I came there today, and the caterpillars are at work. I said, hey, why wait for cuts more? Now work does start. Must we speak? No. Must some particular persons at high offices speak before things happen? All those who are throwing stones and Barangangele, yes, he has failed in the ID card. Have you gone far to find out why the ID card failed? Is it normal that in a country of this nature, you take their sensitive database, you give to a foreign company? People who are blowing grammar, do they know that it's a German firm that has the contract to produce ID cards? Whereas Cameroonians, IT experts are there, trained in these universities around here in Cameroon. It is like you train people at the public works school. When it comes to contract, you give it to Chinese, you give it to French companies, and then those who live from those public works schools, they become laborers. I've never seen this kind of kangaroo system since I was born. It is operating in a lackadaisical manner where the whole system is confused. You have to hear very well. All of you are confused. Those ministers who are blowing grammar, public works, for example, as we are talking here, we don't want to go into some kind of nitty-gritty, because if you go to the village of the ministers concerned in the West, it is Tah.
It's good.
I say it is perfect. When I cannot boast of Tah in Guroko village,
or even Bamenda Center.
Even Bamenda Center itself. Meta Quarters neighborhood, going through that area, we have Mizingeng Junction, or like
the Munya Maiti.
Munya Maiti. What are we talking here? So, because somebody sees something that is wrong, it is God who made his ways almost to cut into two, coming to Mutengene. If God did not make it that way, I'm sure Barangangele, who lives in Bastos, lives only from there, goes to his office,
If the Tico Airport was,
which is a
functional,
central region, that is where the governor's office is, and goes back, so he has not been feeling
if the
it.
Tico Airport was functional, probably he wouldn't have actually experienced it.
He
there.
would not have experienced it. You get the point? So God has a reason of exposing things. The ID cards delay, yes, but it does not mean that if the roads are bad, he has fought a good fight for us. Instead of Cameroonians taking advantage that no, a high-profile government official has spoken, thereby exposing government ministers who are not putting in place President Pobia's agenda.
Yeah, because there's a video. In that video, he said that there are people who are not putting in place what the head of state has actually asked them to do, and he quoted example the road.
Yeah, and if you look at it, let me tell people, blow your grammar they want to blow. The things will happen, even if it's late. Because I said this road, this road here at Carrefour Music, we had never dreamt of that. I hear that even the one at my 18, that they tried filling it. Now media has done a lot. You people here have done a lot. While you have blown the grammar, now minister has helped us now to make it now louder. And so why do we throw stones at Pa? Pa is about 92. If he's complaining, he is not losing anything. If you like tomorrow, fire him. He has lived his life. So all those who are blowing this grammar like that, somebody is helping you. Because if you left to Pa, he will go by, he will not come to the next graduation ceremony. He has his money, he has his night cars, drivers and everything. Instead of us appreciating that somebody in the system is trying to fight our fight, I don't know how we reason sometimes.
That's the problem, man.
I don't understand.
There's a problem here.
We are not.
You said that this morning you saw a caterpillar. I saw it as well. That's not the first time they've been coming there.
Yeah.
The problem is that we have very poor technicians. They take the money and then they disburse a minimal amount of money, just capable of making the road possible for about a week.
You're right,
that's not the first time.
You're right.
And let me tell you, there have been a time when somebody came here, went there, and he threw some strips of porcelain trying to arrange the road. The guy was arrested. He said he had no right to repair the roads. They had to pass through the council. Yep. Let me also tell you, even the road leading towards Carrefour Music to Munyonoba, for example, the people will live in the quarter, contributed money to repair the road. They refused. What a government. They refused the citizens from participating in the development of their own country. And they said that money must pass through the council. And then again, you see that these people are highly corrupted. We cannot take our money, our hard-earned money that we have contributed, and then we give to corrupt individuals to implement projects as though we cannot do the job ourselves. Me too, even in my quarter, I've done that and had a warning because I had a trip of porcelain which I bought just to repair the road in the quarter because they were terrible. And I had received a warning that I should never do that again.
No, Prof,
what the government?
No, Prof, you are saying.
What have we done? What have Cameroonians done to deserve this kind of treatment from this government?
Prof, I get your point. I get your anger is really there. You know, it is a kangaroo mechanism, not even the individuals. Because what is the law telling you? The law tells you that on national roads, even councils do not have prerogatives in repairing national roads. You get the point. And so if you look at Munya is national road, Bonaberi is national road, and so we'll be blamed by those who implemented that law. Because if a governor is calling you to order, he is simply implementing what that law says. You get the point. So it is a kangaroo law that gives birth to kangaroo reactions, and the entire system becomes kangaroo in the first order. So if you look at what they are saying, you mentioned the guys who started by throwing stones and laterites in the my 18 Munyaneba road were also arrested, and they paid bails before coming out. And the worst of it is that even when they came out, they told them that go and remove those stones you put there. You get the point. I mean, you can imagine after coming out paying bail, these are guys who are barely trying to survive. And you can imagine that it's not even themselves who paid it, it is their family members. Because a man who will do that and then puts a small dish there, people pass and give 100 francs, some don't even give, they could survive from that. But you could imagine. And when I passed each time, the guy repairing in my 14 had that same problem. And I told people that no, these are the kind of people I prefer to assist. Because there is this kind of guy to harass you in the quarter, he better do something like this. I pass and drop even the 500 francs. He gives the 100 francs, at least it will help him one way or the other. So generally, we are suffering from a kangaroo system. What has happened? It has expired. End of the road. Bam. 2025, we put them out of the show and take over. Thank you.
Okay, let me take on this message before coming to Nick and also to you, Mr. Emmanuel. Hello, Mr. Jarvis, and to everyone in the studio. The population is really suffering as per the state of roads network in Cameroon, Mr. Jarvis. It is really a call for concern. The stakeholders need to really have a sense of humanity. Thank you, Ntubang writing from Noni, a special greetings to my brother and the vibrant kangaroo man. And this other one right, he says, thank you guys very much for this program. God should bless Martin Bangangele. Now I see why his name was everywhere, Le Père de la Police, Ayeleo. Because if you see the road network in Cameroon, it is terrible. I know that when Bangangele saying this, the head of state is not aware of this state of road, despite the fact that he has not been aware. He will now do something due to Bangangele. My name is Vivian. This other one right, he says, the road network of Cameroon is not good, yes, and we want that many roads should be constructed. But the question we are asking is, who are those who need to construct these roads? Because we see money being siphoned from left to right, and our contractors that we train from schools cannot actually be given the opportunity to construct our roads. Then we expect the white man to come and construct just for us also citizens to embezzle. Nick Ano, we are looking at 42 years now. What do we need to do as far as this road network is concerned? Because in Bangangele can complain. Bangangele say the road is bad. Minister of Justice, Deputy Minister of Justice, Minister Delegate of Justice says road is not bad. And the Ngano Njimesi has also replied there.
Yeah, I saw the reply.
He has replied. Yeah. So are we helpless or?
And he does not answer the question. He replies by attacking.
By attacking.
Instead of answering that these are evidence that the road is. In fact,
he replied in a
terrible
kind
system.
as if it was a kind of tribal issue, because he said some people from the south, some group of elites came to his office trying to convince him to put a kilometer of road at 1.2 billion. No, is it not 1.2, 1,000 billion, 1,200 million? Because Cameroon is one of the highest countries where a kilometer of road is so expensive, that we don't know how this comes about. We can construct what kind of road we want in Cameroon. The issue is just political will. I don't like the idea of people who say it is because we're under kind of French control and so on and so forth. Alassane Ouattara, who we know very well as a French touch in the Ivory Coast, he has constructed so many roads within his 10 years of office in Côte d'Ivoire. He has constructed many bridges there. And he has actually delivered. But why is it that in Cameroon we cannot do the same with all the resources we have? I think after the Ministry of Defense, the next ministry with the highest budget is transport, is Ministry of Public Works. Yes. And what do they do with all of this money? That's what we're asking. And we are also saying that you must not construct roads, our road bed, with budget, state budget. You go into this public-private partnership. It works in other countries. Other advanced countries don't only construct their roads by their taxes or by their own budget. They do all of these things to construct road. You construct a road, you operate their toll gates there for some time and recover your money and leave. That's what they do. But personal interest will not leave our leaders to do that, because they want to be involved in the contract. They want to be involved in the indemnities when road passes through a village. The GO want to have a share in it. The mayor want to have a share in it. So because they know that if it is a private firm who is doing that, they will not be able to have all of access to all of these kickbacks and the rest. I think the only thing Cameroonians and our popular need is consciousness. They need to think about the next generation. There are countries that construct roads that last for 50, 100 years and they never go bad. And the issue that we in Cameroon have we have invented a lot of all types of road construction. Another one is pavement. Pavement, I don't even know the sustainability of that kind of way of constructing roads. They say it's pavement and then that's cheaper. Just because they don't want to do the right thing, they don't want to construct roads that will last forever.
And it has a really direct effect on the tire. The tire, if you use pavement,
if you move around Douala and see the
vibration of the car too.
Yes, and the vibration of the car.
Even you yourself, when you are driving on a paved road, only the vibration that it causes on your body is not that easy. And if you look around Douala and evaluate the kind of paved road they are constructed, they are nowhere to ride. There's nothing to write home about them.
Also, you should have an advantage now because the vibration also reduces high blood pressure.
No. I think the only thing that our public servants we need to embrace the BOT system.
Bill, operate,
and transfer. And stop relying on state budget and to construct our road. With that, you can do. There are many ways we can galvanize funds to construct road in Cameroon. It's just that what we lack is political will. All I can say it's not means.
42 years.
2 years.
Political will. We keep singing our political will. When shall we say that? When shall we stop complaining about the issue of road network? Because when we look at the time of Aijo, I was not born.
Yeah.
I'm sure, but Prof, you were born at the time. I was
Yeah,
not, I was
around
not born.
1970s I was there.
Yes, at least some of you grew up to directly live the legacy. Yes, because if you look at what we have read, me, I can talk about what I've read, and
Exactly.
people I've spoken to, they said the road network of Aijo was better, and that even the Biya Tiko road, there are elements of that road that road has not been constructed since Aijo left. That it has always only been maintained from one part of the road to another.
Exactly.
When shall we stop complaining about roads?
Okay, thank you. We are going to stop if the various processes that has already been put in place. We are talking about decentralization, and I think that that is one of the things that, if effectively applied and implemented, we are going to have all these complaints led to rest, not perfectly. For example, in a community development, if there's a particular place or they see a need to construct a road, it is very easy for a particular community like Shinoni that is bracing up to come up. They can contribute money like maybe 12 million, 30 million, 50 million, and tell the council, okay, this is what this road, if constructed, will help us. If the council with the free will and with the goodwill can say, okay, how much is there, or the people are presented, okay, the council, this is what we have to construct the road, everything will go on. The problem, we keep talking about the free will. It is a particular problem, and it's coming from the rules and regulations that were led. I can equally attribute some of those people. When I look at it, I say those people after 82 who were born before 82 are the problem. Prof, you are not exempted.
So are you say Prof is the problem?
I'm just saying that, Prof, you are not exempted, but at the same time, he's exempted because he's trying to like ameliorate.
How are they the problem?
They are the problem because they saw all these problems and did not talk. Why now? They have been part of the system. Why are they? I know. Yes, they have been there. Why are they talking today? Is it because they want somebody from the inner system like Marangangere to stand up and talk before they start copying? If we have the right to talk because we are seeing the problem, we have been complaining.
They spoke in 1992, eh?
They spoke in 1992.
When they went when they went to the presidential election.
It's a process. They should have continued. Advocacy is not a day's job. It's not a minute something. I want to quote him. You keep on, be consistent in what you are saying. If it is wrong, I think we have to we have to actually take it. We have to actually take it that it is our collective responsibility. We should not just sit because I know opportunity comes at times and it goes away. We understand that.
So what you are saying is that what have our parents been doing?
I will not answer the question directly, but I will say that they have been doing something, but not up to what we expected from them. That is the way I think.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, Prof.
Okay. Up to 1982, I think I was still in the primary school. I was just about to graduate from primary school. We had an excellent system of governance in this country. Ahijo was that kind of person that would like to monitor projects that he had authorized to be implemented in the country. After 1982, we had a terrible system, which is a kind of you just do anything that you want to do.
But we were under rigor and moral. What happened to
No, there's nothing. It is just this government is terrible. They preach what is excellent, but they practice the opposite of it. Look at even the law. The Cameroon law is one of the best in the world, but I want to assure that not up to 1% of the law is implemented. After 1982, everything that Ahijo put in place started falling apart. And then, they brought this idea of tyrannism. You try to open your mouth against something which is not good by the government, you'll be tortured. Do you know how Azongwara was tortured in Yaoundé before the GC board was accepted? People came up to see exactly what we fought for and what we achieved.
And we are praying for that.
Even Frundi, before he brought in democracy to this country here, it was a lot of torture. People died in Bamenda. Small children were shot. They came out, they didn't have guns, they didn't have even sticks. But the military was sent there to shoot and kill people. In 2008, When the head of state came out and proclaimed that if you want peace, you should pray for war. Do you know how many people were killed in Kumba? I left Korob National Park where I was doing my research. I was doing my doctorate research at Korob National Park. I spent 6 months there. When I came out, I saw my children who was working by the time in Kumba at Kosala. He showed drops of blood on the streets where people were shot just because of the fact that they wanted to oppose what was wrong about the government.
The high cost of living.
Yes. So you see, the thing is that the government, there's a kind of system put in place in such a way that if anything is going wrong in this country, you should not even oppose.
Many people spoke overwhelmingly in 1992. I don't know why he's blaming you.
I mean, we did that even at the time. I think I was in a call at the ENS Bambali at the time there. And we run helter skelter because the military came there. You know, military, their job is to come, shoot, and kill, even when you do not have anything. People did everything. People voted. Votes were stolen and things like that. But then we had results that were treated the way they were treated, and we're where we are today.
The military does not go somewhere. It is not war. If the military is going there, it's for just to frighten. It is
no.
No.
Why should the military go and fight?
Why should the military go there?
That is the question you were supposed to first of all ask yourself. That why, at what moment should the military come in in anything? That's the problem. But let's
you have
no experience.
I've said that they
have never experienced that.
And the issue is why we should not be. He's saying why we should not blame their generations, because they have been trying and they have been using oppressive force against them, and he has given instances where their people have been killed.
And that thing is, I'm not supporting the oppression, but it is something very normal in progressive political systems.
Okay,
it's very normal, and you can trace the origin of politics and the origin of the society, the origin of the state. It's everywhere. We are even coming from the state of nature. Let me put it that way. But as we were saying concerning the road network, please. And there's something that the president has done, but the president, I was already trying to say what you were thinking, but I will not say it. The president so it's not legal, but if Mr. Biya, Papa Biya has been doing that, if he was doing that, we would have had this issue. Like moving from one place to another. That's just one of the solutions that the leaders of our country.
Yeah, because in Bagan,
we are talking about monitoring of the projects.
Yeah,
monitoring the project. And we say where he goes. You saw the development that entered Bamenda in 2010.
Even Boya.
Short-term development projects.
When he went to Boya, when he came to Douala, and those roads that are being destroyed, the Marwa town that is being destroyed, we know when he went there for presidential campaign.
Okay,
everything was being
we'll be coming back to you. Good morning, Mr. Jarvis. Is Festus watching from the United Kingdom? I want to say that Cameroon have problems in all sectors. Talking about roads, I want to say that this is terrible that our roads are abandoned without maintenance. I am equally worried about the situation of health personnel with the current aptitude test confusion. God bless our fatherland, and our fatherland really needs prayer. This is coming from Festus. This other one says, good afternoon to the House of Commons. I really love the topic in the House today, even though the professor tried to dismiss the ID card topic, but it is important because I for once went to Moya police station to collect my ID card. My ID card, which the chef lady removed it and placed it on the table, then asked me to give 2,000, which I begged because I never had 2,000 at hand. She refused and take the ID card back inside. I am Fallon from Boya. Wow.
That's corruption.
Good afternoon to you all in the studio. I am happy and happy Sunday. Cameroon's administrators have problems that need spiritual deliverance. Isai Chiruma once said Cameroonians are unemployed because they are not well trained with the changing challenges in the world. Who is setting up the educational curriculum? Roads in Cameroon are completely damaged, and all the Minister of Public Works can say is he inherited a poor road from his predecessors. How long has Nganu Jimesi, the Minister of Public Works and other countries, used less than 5 years to construct 5F is Kangaroo Man. Let me take this one and come to you. This one says, good afternoon. Dear panelists, thanks for the touching topic. I think that the government is just being very wicked. They talk of decentralization, but no power is given to the council to maintain roads in their own municipality. We Anglophones are tired of all this. That is why we want to follow the newly discovered road. Dixon Niba writing from only him can answer. 5 is, let's move to the next topic, which is a part of road network. What else? What are the other areas where Cameroonians should focus on ahead of 2025? A part of road network, what are the other important areas that Cameroonians need help?
How about the way forward for the previous topic?
Probably I was expecting that speakers will give their way forward.
We're
because
trying to.
Just 1 minute.
It's still part of the second topic,
Yes,
a part of road network.
Okay.
Yes, I think that there's a viewer who just texts about the issue of ID card in Munya. That girl should get to me. Just get to me. If the ID card is still there in Munya, because those orders must be restored. You have your ID card, you went there, you saw it, they said 2,000 francs. Get to me, I will take you to that police station in Munya. Let us see the magic that will come from air. That it will not come out so long as it is there. Thank you. That one is that one. You know that since my arrest that I'm now wounded. So any illegal arrest and wrong things, I'm sensitive. And when I told Pambarga, it is sensitive that even bails are for free. The forcefully collected bail from me in Biya 50,000 francs, I have written the money will be given back. I've gotten assurance from the quarters on that. And so bail is supposed to be free, right things must be done. If we want to change this country, it is now or never. On the other sectors, if we want to list sectors that have problems, we'll sleep here.
What are the urgent sectors?
No, I say we want to list first, we'll sleep. If we come back to urgent, then we can still take above. So I don't know, we'll try to summarize.
Yes.
The health sector is an issue. When I say health sector, it has, state operations has to do with a chain of institutions. For example, when you see dead littered everywhere, they will tell you that crime is concerned. The councils are in charge, but it has a link with the health. Because the diseases that harbor around these areas in our towns has a direct impact on the health situation of the people. Go even to Bonabusa the market here. Look at the death around the Bonabusa the market. It stinks as I'm talking to you now. People are selling food items, tomatoes, pepper and all the like. Yet councils that were supposed to be clearing those garbages are instead specialized in looking for vehicles that are poorly parked so they collect money. The system has collapsed. As I'm talking now, the Yaoundé itself, municipal police officers, these areas of concern, who spend time tossing plates or trays of pineapples, trays of fruits in the market that they are poorly stationed, are not doing their job because they are supposed to be first cautioning. We have problems. Urgent problems in Cameroon is that lack of education. Council is supposed to educate. We are supposed to have billboards. You go to Europe, those things are there. They will tell you this way is footpath, this way is market path. Now, when you go even pressing issues, and you are driving, say, from Suza, going to the western region, take even from Bomono here, you are going towards Suza. Now, pressing issues, a gendarme officer will hide in the bush, postulating as if he wants to remove a serious kind of mess that will intoxicate the area, waiting for the camera to pick up vehicles that he will say they are speeding. Yeah. At the same time, you don't have road indications that here, road signs that here 20 kilometers per hour, here 30 kilometers per hour. These are the reasons that when you have these things, if a driver now runs or drives above 60 kilometers per hour, as specifically, you cannot get him right-handed. And there's a time where our records intercepted. Akeba showed me. He only showed me that is a still photo. Yeah. It does not show motion pictures. I said we have a terrible system. A still photo. I tell you, voila, to an haute vitesse. I said, but this is a still photo. I need a photo that shows that we were actually speeding. No, if you pay about. So you see, they corrupt. And then when you give it to them, I said, it's even the worst of it. In fact, these are urgent things I'm talking about.
There's no state treasury there.
There's no state treasury there. So we are talking about a system that has collapsed totally. As I talk about health issues, that you'll be told that apart from the regional hospitals that they call regional hospitals and referrals, go to the suburbs, go to Mbongo Health Center, go to Bingwandi Health Centers, and ask yourself, do they have the personnel? Are the equipments there? And so the whole system is in a state of quagmire. Yaoundé used it very well. I'm not talking what my mouth. And so if you take a look at all of these, all of them are a call for concern. But above all, the crack on corruption is at the extent that cuts across.
That's the Oga Kwata Kwata of it.
That's the Oga Kwata Kwata. I was at Miondo Bar here. You will see 10 police officers this way, Miss Ushanam 10 years away. And people are in the quarters harassing people.
What are they doing there?
What are they doing there?
How does that benefit the state?
How does that benefit the state?
I mean,
I'm talking about Miondo Bar here.
Hello?
Living from Douala and you're going to the southwest. And you see this number of police officers. How many checkpoints you meet on the way?
Then before that, they said road safety.
There is road safety, there is route gendarmerie, there is route police, and then if you go to Missolele itself, that area collects illegally not less than 6 million per month. They should hear, they are watching me. I say illegally, not less than 6 million per month that goes into their pockets every month. Why am I saying so? The weighing station is there, the police is this way, the gendarmes are this way for their road safety. This one is control mix. They are mixing what? Mixing corruption.
and then again, Mr. Let me just get in, because now you see that's I call them legally authorized corruption post.
Yeah.
Because if that was working for the state, for example, there have been authorities of the Ministry of Finance, for example, seated there, so that if there is anything,
there's a fine.
they pay them, and then it goes direct to the state treasury.
Yeah.
The policemen just stand there. Vehicles come, they block the road, and then they simply go there and they give money. They come internet, they go.
Okay.
So
It looks terrible.
It is
what
bad.
the government?
So just to wrap up, another urgent area for concern in the kangaroo system, which
Principal is coming to solve.
which we are coming to solve. In fact, we will start solving it already before the elections even, is the fact that the decentralized process, it is an illusion, which means it is a simple illustration on paper. And so that's why you see that they start to say that we have special status. Special status is a scam. You have to hear very well. Because when we have these pressing issues, solution, they reduce all this duplication of functions. Regional councils are doing what city councils are doing. City councils are doing what subdivisional councils are supposed to do. At the end,
and subdivisional councils do what the committee of they want reconstruction and
where Papa? Please look for a topic for that. Let us come back to this thing because
reconstruction will construct.
Yes.
An area where the regional councillor is
Has
there,
competence there.
the area where the local council is there, an area which has also been allocated as a state budget for it to be done. So at the end of the day, who does what and where and how?
That is why we are clamoring. All these 60-something ministers delegates is a waste of budget.
Budget,
Bring those things down to 10.
Even the ministerial.
We are supposed to have one ministry of national education.
Yeah.
That has higher inside, employer vocational training inside,
Exactly.
basic inside, secondary inside,
Yes.
higher all inside, one package. They have sub-directors now who control.
Excellent.
You will not be having this wasted. In fact, we are confused. So the only thing is that any proposal we are giving you, we are only wasting time.
Okay.
Let 2025 just come. We unseat the people in 2G. We put the right things. I want to ask this plan. Where is the CP man? Please always bring them because I want to dialogue with them.
Actually,
Seed of November is coming. They'll start blowing ground very soon. I'm just coming from Yaoundé. Most of them, the ministers, offices were not functional. I'm sorry to say that. From Yaoundé. When no, this one they have gone. I asked some of the guys about some party. Vous ne savez pas qu'il y a 6 November qui arrive? Which means people have left
God.
days before
To go to
back to
their
their regions to go and start canvassing wrong campaigns. And people are waiting for them in the office in Yaoundé. They are not there.
Okay.
And they're moving
we'll
with
be
the
coming back
state,
to
with
the
the state money.
Hello to the team in the studio. This is Kelvist Fu writing that Cameroon government doesn't mean any good to the citizens. Lecturers in Nigeria strike for the rehabilitation of schools in Nigeria, and it is done. And here in Cameroon, a class of 500 students in the university are allocated allocated at Amphi 250 in Biya. Students lack seats to use and overcrowded. Kevin writing from Bamen. I'm sure I did a report when I was a student journalist in the University of Biya, where we saw that most of the amphitheaters 150 lack. Most of the seats were no longer 150. They were either 120 or 110 or 100. Then you allocate a hall for students of at least 200 students in an amphi 150. You realize that is The 150 itself is not 150 because if you
150.
count the total number of
So the
seats,
shit already bad.
yeah, already bad. But that was years ago. I don't know the situation now. Yeah, that was years ago. I actually was given a report. I went to 750. I counted all the seats to know which one were bad, and we discovered that was when we were doing a report on focus on UB. I don't know the state now. Somebody just notified us in Kumba that voters card in Kumba is a problem, that they go to register, they keep giving, when they register, they give them appointment as to when to come and collect their voters card. When they go, their voters card is not available, and that they have been going there. They keep having appointment. I'm sure the divisional delegate of Elekam in Kumba will actually solve your problem, but you should not be discouraged. January voters registration will be open again.
That person with that voter issue should also get to me.
What
I will go to the Kumba myself.
Okay, maybe Nick, before I come to you, Nick, what are the key priority areas apart of roads?
To me, the key priority area for Cameroonians is the cost of living. The cost of living in Cameroon is something else. It is a kind of situation where most families now, they feed only on maybe 3 meals. They feed on bread, they feed on rice. Even rice is gradually becoming a meal for the rich now in Cameroon. And I think this is a gradual call for concern. Our production level, all of these things are still linked to roads. If we don't have national roads, we cannot even be talking about farm to market roads. And it is a call for concern to our mayors who are supposed to construct farm to market roads.
Are they even there for my brother? They are even calling them. They are calling poor absentee landlords.
Are they will move with their offices in Yaoundé. So all of these things are affecting the cost of living in major cities in Cameroon, because farm to market, produce cannot be get from the farm to the market, and the little that gets to the market becomes very expensive for the common man to buy. I think this is a great call for concern. Even though everything in Cameroon is a call for concern, but we just lack which one to say. Everything is in coma in Cameroon. Is on every sector in Cameroon is on drip. Is on drip. Though, so it come 2025. I really think Cameroonians need to outlive their fear. They have to outlive their fear and embrace change. And embrace change. Because what the regime in place, they live by intimidation. They make sure they intimidate you to be afraid of, to make sure that there's nothing that can be done about that situation, and then to sell the idea that they are doing the best. That has been their modus operandi over the years. I think Cameroonians have to be conscious of their political system where they live in and become more outspoken. If everybody speak out, there will be change. But if everybody think only about their individual interests, the issue of bad road is affecting all of us. If everyday family die, I don't think a day passes in Cameroon without a car having an accident due to bad roads. Every day these things happen, and it affects but all of us, the common man. It doesn't affect a CPDM militant nor a CRM militant. And it affects
like you saw the issue of the road there.
It doesn't know a political party.
The road is not the delegate general of national security.
Actually, know. Yeah.
Can you imagine? Cannot respect the delegate general. That road is not serious.
So all of these things are. I think like issue of roads, a village development association should be doing also something that I'm talking. For example, like in my village in Fontaine, we have been able to buy our own road construction equipment. We have bought caterpillars and we're buying.
The prof just highlighted that they have been trying to fix their own road.
Yeah, I'm saying that we are.
Try it down. You understand?
I'm saying that we have, as a development association, we have actually imposed like this in work in collaboration with the council. We don't give them the money. Actually, the development association manages the constructions of the roads and the rest. But we make the council to be aware that this is what we do. And I think because the major roads are linked Chang, the divisional headquarters of the manual division, to Menji, the divisional headquarters of the BLM, is a nightmare. I think you leave Chang, you pay 20,000 on a bike. To carry you on a road that is just about 40-something kilometers.
It's the same thing like Bamenda Wum now. It's the same thing Bamenda Wum.
When you're riding on a bike on a normal, you don't ride you ride just for about 40-45 minutes on that road. to get to Changbe. Now you pay 20,000 francs. I'm talking out of it. It's a road that I walk there all the time, so I know what it is. So the earliest decided to maybe look for a deviation of the road because they refuse us from repairing or from maintaining that divisional road. They said no, it is a property of the government. We cannot do anything. So we have to derive our own roads, and that's what the earliest are doing in order to maintain that particular road.
Okay.
And I think all of this initiative, if your father fail you, if you have a father who is a vagabond and takes all your money instead of sending you to school, you squander it on women, and you as a wise child, you have to look for a means to survive. And that's what Cameroonians should be thinking.
Are you saying we have a...
I'm not saying anything now. All of us are living it. All of us are living the reality.
I just want to be sure whether I say we have a kind of system.
No, we have a kind of system. All of us know.
Okay,
I'm feeling the pinch.
Good morning, House of Commons. I am James, back from writing from Mount Bombuku. Indeed, I can't say about the road here because of the present situation going on in this part of the country, but I just want to throw a highlight on how the police and the gendarmes are treating common business people who are using the road. Imagine that when a truck that carries cocoa a cocoa leave from Back Mountain and arrive at Edina, that truck has to settle not less than 100,000 before leaving the area of Edina. Then in Limbe Road, you have to spend not less than 150,000 only on Limbe police and gendarme control. Matemba Ngele is hearing you. Good afternoon, Jarvis and others in the studio. The pressing problem in Cameroon is supervision and auditing. Someone can't occupy a position for 10 years doing what he wants the way he wants. No other question. And this other one is greetings to you all in the studio. I am greetings to you all in the studio, and a special shout out to my Yei Emmanuel. As we look towards 2025, one of the main priorities for Cameroonians beyond road infrastructure is security and stability. Security concerns remain paramount, especially in the northwest and the southwest regions. Many are hopeful for a resolution that will bring peace to these areas. Additionally, urban safety and crime prevention have become significant, with a focus on ensuring political stability to foster secure environment for all. This is His Royal Majesty Dominic Genui Nchupichem Palace. What are the priority areas?
Again, if you want to talk about the priority areas in Cameroon, everything is at stake.
If a political party, we are moving towards 2025, what do you expect of a candidate that will merit your vote?
The first thing I was to talk about, it is either we respect the laws in place, or we modify and have accurate laws that guarantees everybody, that gives everyone, every Cameroonian, the opportunity to participate in nation development. We are talking about village developmental associations. We have had, all of us, we have already accepted to the fact that the central administration does not permit individuals or a group of persons to carry on developmental projects like roads. That is where the problem is. And you go to neighboring Nigeria, we always look at it. If the central administration can give us the opportunity that each politician, we should stop from I will do this to, we should see politicians who come up, tell us that this is what I've done. If you give me the opportunity, if you vote for me, this is what I'm going to continue doing. If we give that opportunity, if we liberate the economy, you liberate the economy. If the government, the central administration can liberate the economy to Cameroonians and be the guardian, they should be there to talk. If a particular individual wants to construct a road, the government should come in, the council should come in, give a plan of that society, the plan of 50 years. That, okay, in this particular municipality, this is what we plan for in 50 years, in 100 years. and you have to construct a road, any other thing, following the plan as given by the government. Don't you think we are going to go far? We won't be seeing all this like people complaining if he goes to the quarter, he wants to just put godrong for stones for people to chase away the mud. It still becomes a problem. That's why I will say everything will have a lot of problems, and if we put the rules and regulations, the laws, we respect the laws, we are going to solve health problems, education problems, and even the economy. The problem lies with the laws and vigor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me take on this before I come to Prof. Good day, House of Commons. The money council is collecting from for sanitation. Where is that money going to? Emmanuel writing from Limbe. This other right says, good afternoon, panelists, especially the Kangaroomans. Say, I have been enjoying your contributions for years now concerning our beloved nations, Cameroon. Keep it up, sir. With the consistency, we are solidly behind you, House of Commons. Your programs are really opening the eyes of Cameroonians. Keep up until we'll have a change of this corrupt kangaroo system. Tebot from Mutengen. This one says, we need help in our economy. We also need school. The students are of tomorrow, but the place we learn is not good enough. Rena writing from Kumba. This one says, greetings to you, House of Commons, my brother Kangarooma, Mr. Fire. This is Alan Chia from Womb talking about roads. Those who use the Womb have seen the Womb Bamenda road transform into a footpath. The cost of transportation from here to Bamenda is a nightmare for the common man. I don't know how long we would continue like this with all the elite we have from Menchum division. I wonder if government is aware that the bad nature of the Womb road linking the entire division of Menchum with the regional, which is a regional headquarter. This other line says, greetings to you all. Please, when we talk about our country, don't forget that Cameroon is a continent. In my own country, Bamenda, I can say that we don't yet have government. It's Babok from Bamenda. That when we talk about Cameroon is a continent. So in Prof, what are the priority areas that a candidate, because 5 is for CRM, that a party will pitch to you that you think that will merit your vote for 2025?
I very much know Mr. Professor Morris Kamto. He's a very good guy, and his doctrine is also very good. I think that is why somebody like Mr. Fai should be with him, should identify himself with him. So I think that for 2035, Cameroonians should ask themselves, am I choosing a candidate that is going to stand against war, that is going to use war to solve problems internally? Am I voting for a candidate who is actually going to use the army or the military in general in the interest of the Cameroonian people? Are we voting for a candidate who is capable of redefining the educational system of the country in such a way that it meets the immediate needs of the Cameroonian people, so as to carry the Cameroonian people ahead? Are we voting for a candidate who is capable of trying to revalorize the agricultural sector in such a way that the farmers can have access to finance and be able to be self-sufficient? Are we voting for somebody who can bring in industries into this country that can help Cameroonians to actually produce things locally and not relying on foreign suppliers, and thereby reducing the cost of living for Cameroonians? Are we voting for people who love the nation in the first case? You will know them from the history. People who love their country will not allow people in other parts of this country to be suffering. I tell you, Mr. Fai, Mr. Jarvis, when I traveled from here to the northern region, I wept several times in the car. My colleagues were asking me what's happening. I saw people after 42 years in power in the northern region, they were fetching water from the sun, dirty water, and drinking. That was horrible. That should not happen in a country like ours, where you have the potentials, where you have a lot of money, resources that can actually be able to produce water that can actually reach our people in the extreme northern part of Cameroon. We want a government, we want a leader that will treat Cameroonians equally, not thinking that because you come from this place, I have to give you preferential treatment. That way to stamp out corruption, like you already said from the beginning, to stamp term of tribalism, nepotism, and all the evils that bring in on the development and terrorism in the country. When you see people fighting, it's not because of terrorism. Terrorism is actually brought in by the government through poor policies. We shall also be looking at areas such as well, the military in particular, because we will have to actually look at people. Someone can be able to actually bring a degree of moralism in the military. We have people recruited into the military who are thieves. They work with the bandits in the quarter, and they make the environment not actually suitable. Let me tell you, it is horrible. I do not know whether it is some or whatever thing, because you see, excuse me please, it could be an overstatement, but when you see the way the gendarmes are operating on our highways and the police, they are not different from the thieves that have the quarters. They're the same. So now, from whom can we learn? We need a president that will be able to actually carry out a test of morality before people are recruited into the armed forces in all dimensions.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. We have about 3 to 4 minutes. Yes, I'm the way forward now. What should we be looking for in a candidate come 2025? We are coming to an end of this program.
We should look for a candidate. Cameroonians should go for a candidate they think can deliver. And who is that candidate who can deliver? Somebody who has a mastery of the realities of Cameroon, of the realities of the common man. Somebody should be able, a candidate who should know that somebody in Kolofata, somebody in Noni needs good roads, needs electricity, needs quality education. And I would like to also thank the community. We are also working on that, and the Noni community will be gathering on the 15th to the 17th of November in Bafusam, because the new Noni is to be born, and all of us are being invited. Itakangoro, you shall be there. Thank you.
I'd like to be there.
Happy Sunday, Mr. Jarvis and the entire panelists. Happy Sunday to the kangaroo man. Biya's leadership has been a paradox of shame when it comes to roots in over 4 decades of Biya's rule. Many who lives the last years of late President Aijo leadership are still alive can confidently say roads, hospitals, and economy was better under the former president. For me, I think the big problem in Biya's rule is accountability for public servants. Keep the good work. I am Eden Vivov, watching you from Halifax, Canada. This other one says, happy Sunday to you guys. Nice program. Kangaroo man, I will not ask you this. I'll ask you later. I want to ask Nick, what should we be looking for in 2025 for a candidate?
Yeah, to me, a candidate in 2025 should be somebody who will embody the idea of being a farmer and not a hunter. Should have a team of farmers. I talk of political farmers and hunters, because if you look at this current system, the kind of leaders we have are hunters. I always say a hunter is not interested in when an animal was born. A hunter is interested in shooting down that animal and killing it, and then using it as meat. That's how most of our political leaders have been behaving. Rather than a farmer plants, you may plant and tomorrow you don't even harvest. You may plan for the next generation. That is the kind of political mindset I expect from most of our political parties. Because when you look at across most political parties, they are not so much different from the current regime. It should be a political ideology, a political party that we kind of bring in ideas of re-emancipation of the Cameroonian people, re-education, because it's as if most Cameroonians have lost it. We have lost the consciousness of belonging to a common country, and everybody is moving into their own direction. We need a candidate who is a unifier, somebody who will be able to bring the Cameroonian people, be it at home or abroad, together, and not somebody who will be able to scatter or bring in policies that will scatter and drive them away, bring in policies that will keep young Cameroonians at home, and not the one that will allow them to risk their life across the Mediterranean Sea or across the new road
as somebody said. The New Mexico Road.
Okay.
As somebody said.
One elderly, yes.
So we need a leader who will be able to ensure all of these things. And because we look at the potential of Cameroon, Cameroon is one of the highest country in Africa that is blessed.
Okay.
The highest country that is having potential in all dimensions.
Oh.
And so you need a leader who will be able to harness all of this potential, and not to bring them together. Not a leader who will be a hunter to shoot down and eat.
One elderly man told me that back in the 60s the roads were not tarred, they were very pliable due to the fact that the roads were constantly graded. Believe me, if all councils have their own equipment for road maintenance, things will get better. Primus Lanjo. Fire Elvis, what should we be expecting as priority areas in 1 minute if the CRM is to canvass for voters 2025?
Well, the key areas we will be concentrating on will be to revitalize the health sector, because the health is wealth. If you are not good health, they will have to get in place a going and a buoyant health insurance policy that works and takes into consideration the poor, the middlemen, and the rich, which is absent completely. And apart from that, we will have to revitalize the educational system and taking it at a different level. That's overhauling it and taking it to a professional inclined levels, which has to do with practicality on the ground. For example, if a man is doing woodwork industry, or probably we are talking to agriculture, you want to revolutionize agriculture, there should be industries that are there ready to transform the raw materials. You cannot be taking cocoa and you send abroad. You cannot take bananas you send abroad for biscuits. No. There should be a biscuit company, companies, not companies here. I think one of our priority areas which we are working on is that we digitalized the industrial zones. You must not live in Bengu to come to Douala to look for work, which means in any subdivision there will be at least an industry that will work. There are industries inclined that way. There are heavy industries, medium-sized industries, and small industries. But when we make it this way, a man will not leave Menji that is rushing to come to Nchang or is rushing to come to Douala. No. There's the artisanal industries are there in different capacities. You put them there. People want to stay there and work, and so it makes life much more easier. You have what you call even balanced distribution of development. If we have that, we feel that, then we are finished. And above all, in our priority areas, it has to do with the fight of corruption. We realized, and that's what sent most of us into prison in the 2022, that's 22nd September 2022, when we are having that peaceful march on no to corruption, because we could not understand that a tip of sand for the stadium that was being constructed is costing 700,000 francs. We could not imagine that. That was constructed at the highest level. And so we thought that getting into that, our priority area will be to fight corruption. I will tell you, Jarvis, if you go to China, they have minimized corruption to the fullest. That is why even mayors go to prison, and some are even sentenced to death. Government officials in China and North Korea, even sentenced to death once you have embezzled even a franc, because as that money you are embezzling, it should have helped to develop a particular state. So somebody can die because of that money you embezzled. And so we think that once we fight corruption, which cuts across all the different spheres of life in Cameroon, we have taken a giant step in putting Cameroon on a good footing. Okay, thank you very much for coming. Well, thanks very much, and it's my pleasure. We'll keep coming, and the kangarooism we find in the country, we'll keep on fighting. Yaoundé, whether you like it or not, you are towards the end of the road, and we will fight the kangaroo system till you go out the way you're supposed to go out normally with the ballot box. Thank you. Good afternoon, happy Sunday. I really like your program talking about corruption in Cameroon. Is something I am not sure everyone will do something about it, because it's already out of hand. It would take an exemplary it would take an example of this man in Mutengene. If we take an example of this man in Mutengene claiming the land of more than half of the population, but the authorities who are to be there for the population is moved by things this man offers to them, so they can be on his side, so he can take all the land of the people. So I am asking myself the question, if actually the life of the population who can't stand for themselves really matters to the government of Cameroon, it is really heartbroken. The situation in Mutengene, where a particular person has come claiming you have been reporting that even in Douala now. Yes, we have. That you stay in an area for over 60 years. 60 years. And that's what just come one morning and it's Buduzi places. He comes with gendarmes and police. And he say he has land title. He's putting down the whole. Prof, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jarvis. God bless you.
Thank you. Of course, Mr. Emmanuel, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you. You're welcome. And we hope to come again next time for other pressing issues.
Yes, of course. Mr. Nick, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you also for having me as usual.
And we are going to come to do your baby shower some other time. Okay?
Probably in December.
Probably in December. I want to thank you, Desmond. Thank you, Elvis. Thank you, Alan, for production. I want to thank all those who took our time to participate on this program. This program comes every Sunday at exactly 12 to 1:30. Rebroadcast today, Sunday, 10:30. Follow us on YouTube, My Media Prime TV on our YouTube channel, or BT Media YouTube, and also you can follow us on our Facebook page. Until we meet again, no matter the matter, what matters is your matter, and what should matter for you is that you should stay out of trouble. My name is Tah Mai Jarvis from Cameroon's commercial capital, Nchumbonga. Until we meet again, bye bye.